Hello everybody, I am WittlerFam and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at a few card interactions and going down a sort of what-if scenario, kind of like down the rabbit hole on what happens when certain cards interact with each other. Specifically today we're taking a look at cards from the older era, the Diamond and Pearl era, and some of the cards and how those cards would interact. Before I set up the scenario, I want to let you know that I do have some background in being a Pokemon professor for my local leagues, and so interpreting how these cards kind of go together is sort of my job, really, when it comes to other Pokemon players. If I'm volunteering, if I am judging an event or organizing and I need to step in and make a ruling, this is kind of how I would go about doing something like this and contextualizing what powers do in what order. Very literally taking the wording of the Poké-Powers and Poké-Bodies and abilities that are going on. So, and when I don't know, I ask. And when I ask, I go to the Pokemon Compendium that's online. It's a great resource. I'll try to get you a link in the description below. So for the scenario, player A has a Uxie from Legends Awakened, and they're attempting to use its Poké-Power, while player B has an Alakazam with Mysterious Treasures, in play, and a Tyranitar from Stormfront in play. So player A is attempting to bench Uxie and use the Poké-Power setup, very similar to Shaman EX's setup from the EX era. Once during your turn, when you put Uxie from your hand onto your bench, you may draw until you have 7 cards in hand. Very powerful draw ability. However, because player B does have an Alakazam in play with the Poké-Power Power Cancel, it sort of responds like the Power Spray card responds for Pokemon SP decks. So player B is going to respond with Alakazam's Power Cancel by discarding 2 basic Dark Energy and preventing all effects of player A's attempt to draw cards. So it only works during your opponent's turn, and it only works if you have cards in hand, and you must discard 2 cards to use this. Also, if the Alakazam happens to be in the active spot, then the Pokemon can't use this Poké-Power if it's affected by a special condition. Something that was very common on older Pokemon abilities that were called Poké-Powers. So this happens right after the opponent plays Uxie. And because the wording Power Cancel states that this counts as that Pokemon using its Poké-Power, then Alakazam is basically giving the Uxie Power Cancel for its power usage, for the purposes of using this. And the reason that's important is because Tyranitar's Pokébody can trigger when the opponent is using a Poké-Power. But because Alakazam's counts as the opponent's Poké-Power, then you also trigger Tyranitar's Pokébody Darkness Drive. And that Poké-Power, or Pokébody, sorry, they're confusing when you're used to abilities, so you will sometimes flop them. The Pokébody Darkness Drive reads, after your opponent's Pokemon uses a Poké-Power, you may search your discard pile for basic Dark Energy and attach it to Tyranitar. So after player A's Poké-Power resolves, which is now a combination of setup and power cancel, player B may also activate Tyranitar's Pokébody effect. Because player B discarded Dark Energy during the Poké-Power usage, you could theoretically also attach this Dark Energy that you just discarded to the Tyranitar, simply because this is now after player A has used the Poké-Power. And since it's all resolved, and there's no such thing as a stack like in Magic the Gathering, after the Poké-Power is done, the Pokébody triggers, and the Tyranitar player is super happy because they got to cancel abilities and trigger their Pokébodies. So player B is very happy while player A is very unhappy. So that's pretty much it for what I wanted to do. I just wanted to show some of the unique interactions with some of the Poké-Powers and Pokébodies in some of these older cards. I think it's really cool, really neat to see that interaction, and I would definitely like to try this interaction in real life in the future. Spoilers, probably going to happen in a video one of these days. So yeah, and keeping it real short and sweet. I hope that kind of entertains you a little bit. And if you like the kind of videos like this, hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos similar to this for the Diamond and Pearl era, as well as other retro formats, or perhaps even some standards sometime, hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.